Hello, Tumbler here. Today you and I are going to rekey a pin tumbler core or lock. This will work for pretty much any lock you have that involves pin tumblers, and that you're able to actually rekey it or repin the actual pins in it. So make sure you have everything. We have our replacement pins here. We have our core, a blank that fits it, tools to help take it apart, and a circle sander and a half circle sander. So it's flat on one side and rounded on the other. That'll come in handy when we're starting to smooth things out and make sure everything fits correctly. So the first step is to figure out what type of cylinder you have. It will help determine what type of blank you'll need and your max depths and minimum depths for your cuts on the key. So once you figure that out, figure out how far down you need to go. For this is a quick set lock, or at least a quick set key, and this core adapts to them, or is capable of using them. So there we go. We know how we can sit here and also imprint where our keys are spots we need to grind down our cuts. So for a quick set, it's about 1/16 of an inch. It's real close to about right here. Let me get the center of the screen. It's about right there, a little bit above that main cut down the middle. So a little bit down, and you just have to shave off some off the top to be there for the mid and max. So if you don't have your core taken apart yet and want to imprint it, you can print it just like you do when you're trying to make a key for a already existing setup block. Stick it in there, wiggle it back and forth, and you'll see the scratch marks. Usually it's recommended that you sand this part down first so you can see a nice clean smooth cut. When you go like this, you can see a nice clean imprint. But if you don't have all that fancy stuff and don't want to do that, you can easily take the core apart and do it this way. Simply make sure the key's in all the way. Go right here and center that and put a nice scratch mark on it. So I know right there is center of that keyhole. Right here is center of the second keyhole. Third, or the pinhole, sorry. Fourth, and also fifth. The main reason people will do this is if they lose a key to a lock, and also for us challenge lock individuals, maybe you want to put a sixth pin in it and want to make a new key for it. Just saying, it could be a pain in the butt. And there we go. Make sure to get your first initial grind nice and straight on that line. Hold everything nice and still and go slowly. There we go. So now that's where my first one will go. And I can take that down as far as I want. And depending on what you're using this key for or this lock for, if it's a challenge lock, a good pattern for those are up high, low, high, low, high, low. And if you just want to do it for whatever type of lock you want, alternate the depths. Don't just do high, 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 low, low, low. Change it around so it makes it a little bit more difficult for somebody if they want to come over and pick it. So I'm going to grind this down, and then we'll talk about smoothing it out. So I'll be right back. Alright, so we got initial little cuts in there. So now I know to pretty much go sand these or grind them straight down to my max depth or whatever design I want to do on them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just want to give you guys a quick update so what it looks like. And I kept checking it with the core to make sure they all lined up really well. So now let me get this puppy sanded down some more into the design I want, and then I'll smooth it up and we'll go on to the next step. Here's a quick update of where I've gotten so far. This is the depths I want. Now I'm just going back through and sand all these sharp parts up, these spikes up here, down so the key slides in through the pins and out through the pins very easily and doesn't get caught in. Okay, we got a key nice and smooth, not too many sharp points. That way the pins should be able to slide across of it no problem without getting stuck. And later when we're actually pinning it up, if it happens to get stuck in there, we can always smooth it some more. So, time for the next step. Let us start by putting the key into the core. Oh, focus camera. There we go. And start adding some pins. Start pinning this key so we know the key will work. The way I do it, my method is to do the core first. So if you haven't disassembled your core from the cylinder, do that now, and then we'll get this puppy going. So the very first step is I take the core out. So I gotta use my different pins here. So these are my bottom pins, or drive pins if you will, and those two there and those two there are my top pins. These are spools, that's spools. These are not. There's different lengths. And those don't, the links don't up there don't matter because that's your top pins. But our drive pins really matter. So for our very first one, again, we have from short to long, and these are long. That's how we want to do it. So we got, I usually start in the middle. So we use one of these green ones and slide it down. Well, try to anyways. Come on. It's not angled weird. Here we go. Grab one of the green ones and slide it down in there. And there you go. What you're wanting to see is that this is flush with pretty much the shape of the core. That way when it's pushed up, it doesn't fall out. And it actually looks really good. A good guess. So our next one, we just got to do the same thing. And then fill it up as we go. So let's go ahead. Alright, as you can see, we got them all in there. And to test them out, you want to make sure you put your key in there. And they are all nice and smooth across that top side. So when we add our cylinder, right here, you should be able to turn it. If they catch at all, you know you didn't do it right. But the next part is to put our top pins in. So we'll go ahead and clamp our core down the hair so it doesn't move too much on us. Try to push it down just a snug on there. But we don't have to yet, so I'm afraid that thing's going to fall apart. So now we can put whatever tops we want to put in there. So if we want to add some spools, we can do that. Now the first one, we'll do a standard pin, just to be nice. Boom. And then you can drop, say, a spool. Boom. Well, let's drop another spool. Let's be mean. Drop two spools. Or 3 spools total. And then we'll do this one, the standard for the 5th. So that's a little challenging lock, but it works. There we go. Hot diggity dog. So now we gotta add our springs to it. I got a couple different variations of springs, but we'll just grab these. These I'd rather just pick up with my hand and put down in there if it'll let me. No, once it fall into the grooves, it'd be a pain in the butt. And for this part, you can actually take the key out, so everything kind of drops into place a little bit better. So when you put the cap on there, if that's how your core works, it's a lot easier. As I throw a spring across the room. Come on, baby. And the final spring. Boom. Oh, that one looks messed up. We'll grab a different one. That'll work. Boom. So now we got our springs. And our whole thing's locked right now. So you get your mount piece or top piece, depending on what your type of core you have, and simply snap it down on there. Now this one isn't the greatest. I'm not too fond of this core, at least how this part is set up. Let me grab my big old channel locks real quick and crimp this puppy down. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one. Oh, there you go. I usually tape it up. But for right now, it'll work. We also hold it. So right now, our key or core's in there. Oh yeah, make sure you put the back or your E-ring back on there. Oh, go on. That's why we have tools, right? There we go. It's on. So there we go. Alright, it's locked. Won't rotate. Now with our key that we just made, it opens right up. And that's how you rekey a lock. Pretty simple. It actually works really well. I usually put tape around here so this thing doesn't pop off, but it won't work perfectly like a machine lock or machine key from the store. You might have to wiggle it a hair, but it works just fine. Boom. So thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. If you did, put in the comments what you learned. And remember, Stay picked.